Hello everyone, I'm Joel Schemmel, your host for Talking Trends, where we explore real estate trends and other trends in the luxury market here in the greater Sarasota area. Today we're excited to get to talk about golf. We have two guests with us, which we're really excited about. So we have Andy Miller, who's one of the co-founders of the Heritage Golf Group, and we also have Donna Hunter-Smith, who is Director of Membership at TPC Prestancia. So we're excited to talk about what's happening, the bigger picture in the golf world in Sarasota, and drilling down a little bit to individual clubs as well. So obviously the Heritage Group, Andy, you were one of the co-founders, so we'd love to hear just a little bit about the background on that and maybe how TPC was first on the map here in Sarasota.
Sure, great. Well, Joel, thank you for having us, and certainly Sarasota has been a great part of the Heritage story. Heritage Golf Group had a new ownership group come in early 2020, and at that point in time, we were very bullish on Sarasota and seeing all the trends here. So TPC Prestancia was one of the 6 clubs in the original group with Heritage. We were very impressed, obviously, with the TPC Monica on it, and in addition, the opportunity to just kind of be the next owner for the next chapter of the club. Donna was there, and she has come along with us for the next generation, and we've been able to really, we think, reinvent Prestancia for the next chapter, and with a lot of improvements, that we thought would not only help the club but help the surrounding real estate market. And we thank you for your many years of membership there too, Joel.
And I do love it. Of course, I lived in Prestancia for over 20 years. I still remember when I joined TPC, they said, "You may be the youngest member in our whole." I think I was 35 at the time.
Oh, wow. So good.
So it's interesting, and I love that because I do think it was TPC Prestancia was right for evolution, because geographically, location-wise, it's astounding, right?
Right.
And there's just so much potential there, and we've seen it kind of come to fruition over the years, which is awesome.
Right. It was really fun when we first. Prestancia, within the first year, we sat down with about 6 different groups of 10 to 12 members. And we really sat and listened to them to understand what they wanted to see their club become, for the next 5 to 10 to 15 years. And the feedback we got really guided a lot of the capital improvements that we've made there over the last 5 years. Their thoughts about improving the practice facility, bringing the courses up to a new standard of maintenance, certainly the players course, elevating it also. And so then the clubhouse, of course, which needed continual refresh. So they provided us with a lot of guidance.
Absolutely.
And, Donna, I think Donna's done a continual job of selling the dream of the next generation there. And that's very typical of how Heritage works. We don't come in and cookie cut each club. We look at it. We look, listen, and learn from the members and the residents, and then we try to build our plan, for the next 5 to 10 years based on that.
I love that, and I think it's the combination, right? It's talking to the members, understanding what they want, but also bringing a touch of national element to it. A lot of experience in other clubs and what is, best ultimately for the club,
right,
in the long term. So I think it's a great combination of thought process.
When you've seen one of our clubs, you've seen one of our clubs. We don't standardize any of the elements of it. Now, we standardize a lot of the expectations of service and such, but the actual facility and the club quarters, each one is individual. It's like your kids, or it's like your grandkids. They have some similarities, right, but they have unique personalities.
Yep, very unique characteristics.
That's right.
Each one, right? Yeah.
Right.
So I love that. So obviously, TPC Prestancia was the start, now evolution, right? Lakewood Ranch Country Club.
Oh, wow.
So tell us about that.
Yes, as our companies had been blessed to grow over the last 5 years, one of the opportunities was to keep an eye on Lakewood Ranch. And we absolutely were just marveled at all of the growth and all of the energy that was out at Lakewood Ranch. It's so seldom. I think they have 3 exits off of Interstate right. 75 to their community. Yes. And so, we were selected out of a significant number of interested parties. And we've been going through the same process there. We're coming up on a year. It'll be March of this year, where we've been involved there. And again, same process. I personally, along with one of my partners, actually sat down and we had 7 different focus groups, listened to the members, and since then, we're adding more tennis courts, so it's not just golf centric. We've obviously completed the renovation of the Legacy golf course and integrated that into the membership plan. Then we have also, pickleball improvement, the things that will help the lifestyle. And again, we hope all of that goes in line with what the realtors are trying to accomplish in selling a lifestyle in Lakewood Ranch. But we were very fortunate to be selected. It's certainly, it's a very, very prestigious community, and we're so pleased to be part of it.
And I love that. And again, it does, give us context as realtors too. Obviously, we're selling, my partner Donna obviously focuses on Lakewood Ranch. She's amazing. But there was a little bit of a hiccup for a while, right? We had no golf memberships available. And so it was where it used to be a focus of the selling of real estate, it kind of had to go on the back side of things. So this obviously opens that door again.
Yes, and it seems like the energy is continuing again. And, I personally try to attend some of the they host quarterly builders meetings, and I personally try to attend those and, just stay in touch so that I make sure the club is aligning. We as an organization, my partner and chief operating officer actually lives just outside of Lakewood Ranch. So Sarasota is near and dear to his heart. Prestancia, I know he's there regularly. So, we're very bullish on again, the area.
And I love that. Again, I think it really is kind of the greater Sarasota area, Lakewood Ranch, Sarasota. I know obviously Venetian's involved as well in Venice. And is a little bit about kind of enhancing the overall golf experience in the area?
No question. Golf is still a big part of, I think, people's decision to move or migrate, to a more lengthy lifestyle. Donna, what do you see with some of the individuals that you interact with?
Well, I was going to speak to actually Lakewood Ranch. You were speaking about golf being limited during the period. So one of the things that with the acquisition of Lakewood Ranch Country Club, there was an acquisition of another course. And you want to speak to that a little bit? So we actually now have 4 courses up at Lakewood Ranch Country Club with the complete renovation of the course. So that allows opportunities for membership to open up. So once again, people can relocate into the area and actively be involved in the club very quickly. And that's an important part of heritage actually lifestyle. People have opportunities that they can choose where they're going to live, where they're going to buy, and where they're going to play golf. And if they're going to be waiting for years, they have alternatives. So we wanted to be a solution for that.
Yeah,
that was a
I think that's very spot on, Donna. And I think, we've allowed them now to the overarching marketing of Lakewood Ranch now is there are golf memberships available with the 4th course. And we have brought that course back up to the standards. It's an Arnold Palmer signature course. It just needed a little love and a little love and money. In both that, I don't know which order, I know. And it's like a painting. We're not done with it, but the members are playing it, which is encouraging. And to Donna's point, I think will help with the real estate element there now with golf being available within Lakewood Ranch, where it had been, as you mentioned, there was limited availability during.
And I think it is. I mean, I think just like every business, right, it's evolution as to what members want, what your clients want. And so you're always adapting. But it is great to see. I've certainly experienced it at TPC, the improvements over the years. And it's not magic. It doesn't happen overnight, but it's an evolution, and it's always trying to bring a better experience to members or potential members altogether.
And it's important. You have to continually reinvest in these amenities because you have hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars of residential real estate around that. And as the real estate goes, so goes the club. As the club goes, so goes the real estate. And so it's very, very important to stay attuned to that. And we take a lot of pride as an organization to make sure that our local leadership, is engaged with the realtors, is engaged with the HOAs, and in working towards resolutions, towards common strategic issues.
And again, I will just comment kind of on personal experience because obviously lived in Prestancia. I think, obviously COVID had an impact, but there has been an evolution in Prestancia as well as far as real estate, club membership, et cetera. So it's all been enhanced. And I would say where it used to be a little bit more of a sleeper, now it's kind of in the mainstream of people looking, not just for residents of Prestancia, but obviously it's geographically amazing for residents of Siesta Key, Casey Key, most of the mainland of Sarasota. So I think that's the beauty of it. And there's memberships available, right?
Right. Well, one of the unique things about that membership is that, like you said, because TPC, you can reside anywhere in the Sarasota area. So it is just a short distance from our downtown where we have our verticals going up, our waterfront properties as well as those. So there are many people that are not necessarily residing in the golf community, but actually golf is an active part of their lifestyle. So that's actually, and the one thing that's unique about the TPC, it's one of the only clubs in the region that has an international affiliation. So as a global brand, we also have playable rights at the European tour destinations. So we have 3 different continents, 25 different countries. So there's clubs throughout that you can be sending not only yourself, but sending people for golf hospitality, for business clients, customers, friends, or family. So that's one of the things that's quite unique with the European, the TPC brand, as well as now the Heritage Collection, which is now at 41 clubs.
I know. And Donna's been a great ambassador and a great educator. I will tell you that my first few months here, there was every month she was touring me around or talking to me about, the residential areas. As again, we were trying to better understand it. But Donna's been a great ambassador for not only Prestancia but for the Heritage brand. And I would like to say one other thing that's been a really unique part of our relationship with Prestancia is we like to give back. And so at each one of our clubs, one day a year, we take all the revenues, the sponsorships, and the donations that are made that day, and it is split. It is split between 50% of the revenue goes towards a local charity that the members and the employees rally behind, and the other 50% goes into a 501c3 called the Heritage Cares Foundation. And this year we've been able to give back tens of thousands of dollars to employees that were affected from Hurricane Milton, that have other just personal matters.
Absolutely.
And so as an organization, we're working in tandem with the members and the employees who get passionate behind their charity, and then we're able to also help our employees when they have unforeseen hardships. And in the hospitality industry, that's a nice thing. And an individual club doesn't always have that opportunity like a collection does. And Prestancia has been the #1 raise of funds in that day event. So I will testimony to Donna and the whole team and the members that work in our company.
And I love that. Again, it's the Heritage Group, obviously kind of sits above it, but it's nice that each club has its own identity and its own initiatives and what it feels good about. And I love the charity angle that it's more local, right? That
Absolutely.
It's more touching people that are in the community and helping them out. Because again, we've had a first experience with storms this year, really
stormy year.
hit. So it's a new experience. We're trying to figure it all out still.
Right,
So.
and the stories are heart-wrenching. So, and you want to be a part of the fabric of the company. And what members are looking for in a club is the familiarity of staff. And so the more we can take care of our employees, that circle is even tighter than where the members, the story of the employee knowing the member and the member knowing the employee, that's a lot of what a club membership is about.
Love it. And so obviously kind of take a bigger picture, step back. Obviously we talked about Lakewood Ranch, about TPC Prestancia, Venetian, but you kind of have this overlapping envelope of the Sarasota area. Is there any thought about how these clubs might work together in the future?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And we're looking, listening, and learning still with the size and scope of Lakewood Ranch. We're more bullish in kind of the off season. During season, we're very protective of the members in their club privileges for the local benefits. But during the out of season, we certainly encourage the opportunity to participate with the other clubs. So we're still kind of looking, listening, and learning. Each one of our clubs has a board of advisors that is usually 9 to 10 individuals. And so we're listening to them about how it could best be structured. going forward. They do have traveling benefits though, Joel, to your,
right.
So again, a lot of individuals, can travel to any one of the other heritage clubs and have, very affordable golf privileges. And we encourage that. We like it on an inbound basis. We're learning that some of those ultimately turn to full-time residents.
Sure.
They're buying real estate, they're
Yeah.
buying memberships, somebody that maybe is in Chicago at one of our clubs or St. Louis. And so the overarching heritage brand of the travel benefit is really growing with every month.
And so speaking about sort of the local privileges, obviously we've got 5 clubs throughout the Southwest Florida, starting as north as Tampa Bay, TPC Tampa Bay, Lakewood Ranch, TPC Prestancia, Sarasota, the Venetian in Venice, a beautiful golf club there. We've got Pelican Preserve down in Fort Myers and Grandizia down in Estero, Naples area. So we sort of have a Southwest. So along those courses, those really are what we call the collection of clubs in the Southwest Florida. So those would be a limited travel basis sort of in the off season where members residing in any of those can actually extend to their Hilton Head travel or to our Boca Point on the East Coast anytime, year round on that aspect, which is always a great opportunity for that. And talking about sort of things that we're collaborating on, so we have collaborated on a variety of sort of social events to date. So we actually did rented out a local comedy club here in town, McCurdy's, and actually they did a private show for our members at our club. So our members had a time to actually go into downtown Sarasota, meet members from the other clubs residing in different areas. I actually took a number of 18 members over to South Africa on a high-end private safari, golf safari wine area on there for members from our other clubs from Southwest Florida. So there's a lot of opportunities for developing friendships and getting behind their private clubs. And they've also been introducing their friends and families to the different regions, and actually which has been driving them both to other clubs for their membership, but more so as well to the real estate. So, yeah.
The social programming, the non-golf elements, Donna has been an advocate of that even before Heritage, and we've tried to supplement it even further with ideas. But that's very important. That element of it's not just too golf centric. That you actually have the different kind of clubs within a club, or the garden clubs, the bike clubs, just different, where you get smaller groups of members together. And that again just helps kind of cause an adhesion to the membership.
And I would have, certainly from my perspective, when I'm working with clients who are, considering a club or a geographic area, I think it's interesting for them too, because they do have a little bit more access, right, than they have had historically. Usually you belong to a club, that's it, maybe you get some reciprocal in the summer with their clubs, but this kind of creates a little bit more cohesiveness and opportunity for people. Because I think from my perspective, even when I looked at memberships, right, I remember when I thought about TPC, one of the biggest selling points was, listen, I can actually go play some other courses. Right. I'm not just, I don't want to say stuck playing this course all the time, but I can venture out and see some other stuff and not, feel guilty about not playing my own club, right? Because I have to, so it's really an interesting element to marketing the memberships.
Right. One other thing we're learning, which is really one of the brings big smile to me, are the employees. They're part of a little bit bigger cause than just one individual club, and many of them, want to grow, and so they've been given career opportunities. There are many employees from the north that want to come south, for family reasons, or maybe just they're hitting their retirement stage, and so we're able to now kind of ignite opportunities that maybe those employees didn't have before, and so it's neat to see that. Those bring smiles to my face. Where some of the employees,
I love that. Again, it's a more personal touch to everybody, which I think is what it's all about. So just as far as memberships, Donna, anything you want to talk about just specifically on that element?
I think what we're seeing in the golf trends, sort of actually on a global scale as well as national and specifically here, we've got whole new demographics getting into the game. One of the fastest growing demographics is females between the ages of 8 and 14. That's super exciting. families are getting in, girls are getting in. People are looking for their college scholarships. As you can see, the LPGA is doing phenomenal right now. There's been a big upsurge in sort of the equality in golf. We see a lot of families moving into the area here in Sarasota, specifically here, because it's such a vibrant community. It's actually sort of an active community. It's not a retirement community. So we've got a lot of families moving into here between 25 and 40. So we're seeing the demographics joining the private club. It's a fast way to make friends. A lot of people working remote, so we're seeing actually their schedule of play is different. So we're seeing some really interesting opportunities and a very diverse membership. Sarasota is very global. People from all over the world, all walks of life, and we actually are seeing that happening. Now we have our welcoming members currently in all three of our clubs in this marketplace. So it's actually a nice thing to see out there. We're always near the cap. It's always quite the limit, but with some of the transit people being relocated, sometimes we have openings. So we're excited to see that. Yeah.
I love it. And I think, I mean, I'll put my own plug in, just hit on some of that, Donna, because I think that's the beauty of Sarasota, right? Yeah. It's a little more dynamic.
Absolutely.
The demographics we see coming to market are a little bit younger. They are those young professionals who have the opportunity to work remotely, or maybe, you know, our education system here in Sarasota has some of the top schools in the country. Some people will relocate just to get in those schools, and some of them are public. So it's amazing. It brings a whole different vibe to Sarasota compared to other markets in Florida.
Well, one of the things that Sarasota County has been really good about doing the last 20 years has been heavily investing in drawing businesses that are high tech, high energy, high educated, and high paying jobs. So we're actually recruiting, you know, top talent from across the nation to relocate here and run businesses. And we're seeing that quite a bit. And Heritage has been a big, with the move into this market with Heritage Acquisition, have big expander into actually adding jobs into and money into the marketplace across the area. So it's kind of cool to see.
And we actually, in Lakewood Ranch, you know, to piggyback a little bit, you know, we did partner right away with the Lakewood Community Foundation, and that was part of the whole grand opening of the Legacy Golf Club, which Donna referenced. And again, just our way of trying to connect and give back rather than, you know, just you know, continuing on. We try to immediately ingratiate ourselves to, you know, some of the local charities too. So,
and it is a very philanthropic world. You know,
no
question.
question.
The beauty of it.
Beautiful. It is. It's one of the most philanthropic markets that I've encountered in my career.
Super dynamic and super interesting, and I think it caters to all. Which I think is the other thing, you know, it's whatever your interests might be, whether they're golf or philanthropic or whatever. I mean, Sarasota is so dynamic in that realm.
When a club takes on a lot better meaning and purpose, when it goes beyond just golf, and it can integrate itself into the community and the charitable and the philanthropic interests of the members is what we've learned. So, you know, the club, and then the social aspects, that it doesn't be too golf centric, that you also have the activities and events, you know, for, you know, some of the members that maybe aren't active golfers but want the lifestyle element.
And that's critical. I mean, we see it every day. I mean, especially when we have so much migration into Florida and into Sarasota, people that don't have a big friend network. I mean, to have that instant connection with other people, and it may not be golf, it may be something very different, but we see it in everything we look at from a selling perspective. That people are generally looking for a lifestyle first,
right,
or connection first, and then the real estate kind of follows that lifestyle. So, and that's why some communities obviously have been very, you know, their model has shifted to, you know, big amenity centers and things going on, much like clubs do. They offer that connection for all different groups of people.
And Donna's point, you know, with memberships being available, you know, a lot of people come into a market, and if they're in that season of life where they don't have a lot of years to wait, that they'll come and look at club opportunities almost when they're looking for real estate. And then, so I know Donna's always having individuals that are maybe just here as, you know, visitors, and then they're thinking, okay, well, I like the club. Well, now what real estate, or what type of my next life is going to be? So we take a lot of pride in, again, having our individual clubs have great relationships with, you know, the prominent realtors like yourself, Joel, where, you know, we can work in harmony to help that person make their decision for their next chapter of their life.
Absolutely. And Donna and I have worked together many.
Yes,
We have
many
this one this week, right?
Absolutely.
Met with Donna yesterday.
I'm glad to
Yeah,
hear
he
that.
called me
Good.
yesterday. He called me this morning. He's on the way.
That's
Joel's
great,
on
Joel.
there. Yeah.
That's nice.
So I love it. So obviously, kind of just drawing to conclusion. Anything else you want to just talk about in the, whether it's Heritage Group or any of the specific clubs in Sarasota we want to cover?
Well, no, again, thank you so much for inviting us. And, listen, we, as I say, as the real estate goes, so goes the club. And so it's very important for that connection, probably more so than any other external relationship. And I would say that, Sarasota is a market we are just so thankful to be involved with. And, not only the founding club with Prestancia, now Lakewood Ranch, Venetian, which is clearly a great alternative in a growing area too, to get to kind of recreate the next chapter there. And as Donna mentioned, some of the other ones as you continue down the coast. So we're very pro Florida. We're very pro Sarasota, and we're looking forward to the next chapter. Is what I would tell you. Which I think is, we just celebrated our 5-year anniversary, and we're excited about the next 5 years. As our kind of founder, Mark Burnett, and CEO. He's calling it the Heritage 2.0 within our organization. Great visionary. And, I think we're excited for the next chapter.
Well, and I love that. And it is a vision. I think, that's part of what we want, a vision for Sarasota.
Yes.
But thank you.
Absolutely. Andy, thank you very much. Donna, always
Thank
great
you,
to
Joel.
see you. Thank
Always
you for
great to see
being
you.
with us for the show. And thank you for joining us for another edition of Talking Trends. We'll see you next time.